how can I poetically describe this? I am a being housed in clay, and I live exposed to every element. Throughout my day, I walk my rounds collecting cans, making a nickel or a dime. It's seed money, it's lunch money, it's something for a diabetic to eat. I hear the stories of a 23-year-old who just started heroin, black, shooting it in his arm, shooting it where it's hidden. I get impatient at times because I'm looking for security, and that's what housing does. So much of my own personal things are exposed. Watercolors fade when rain comes, what can I say? It's never my dirty clothes, it's always the clean clothes that go.
Laugh about it. You'll do better. Just laugh your way through it. I don't know how I'm going to keep this plane up. I just don't know.
So I'm very grateful that where I store my things, the dumpsters that I store it at, when I have to go during the day running around, because my granny cart will slow me down. I've gone to interviews with my granny cart. I've had to leave it outside the building on my way out, make sure my things are still there, and then walk away from that interview with my cart.
The rule used to be in Balboa Park, if a person's personal things are by a tree, technically everyone leaves them alone. It's kind of changed over the years because of the addiction problems over there. Everyone just kind of takes from everybody. Not my first time on the Porting ride, so now I'm here to get at least one clean clothes change, where you get the ability to shower every day. You are a different person just because you're clean, just because you feel refreshed. I know that for me personally, when I have the ability to be inside, I shower every day in the morning because I wake up, I'm awake, I'm alert. Right now I haven't showered in 3 to 4 days and I feel sluggish, I feel dirty because I can't change my clothes.
I am a 290. I had forced oral copulation with an adult who called the police and said I forced him. Did my time, did my parole. As a result of that, nothing that is federally funded will I qualify according to HUD. And I'm going to say this, I haven't had sex in like 10 years because I have a fear. And that fear is that person at any given point can tell the police I forced them to do something, and that means I got a 20-year tail coming at me. It's no longer a 5-year, it's 20 years, just because someone said I did something to them. So right there, I'm always backing away from people. So I'm basically left out here now. I make it, I have to make it. It's a driving force in me to make it. All the time that I was on parole and in prison, I was called EOP, meaning I have a disability, a psychological disability that indicates that I need other forms of guidance or help because of that. Parole just threw me aside. They didn't care. They never got me the housing that I was supposed to get. They never got me the SSI that I should have gotten while I was with them. I had agents violating me, throwing me back in prison because I went to an AA meeting. I'm striving to do right, and these people are doing everything contrary for me to succeed. I guess that's the parole system, you know? To house one person, $4,500 a month, when they could get maybe 5 people housed that are 290s that are not violent, who are not major predators. I wish people could just try to understand not everyone out here has the opportunity to do it inside. And that, for me, has been taken, not by choice. And I say that not by choice because I'm not choosing to stay out here. I have been striving, but now that I recognize and now that I know, Henry, there is no housing and there is no shelters for you. Okay? So because of that, because of what happened, it inflamed me enough to remember my days in ACT UP back in the 80s and 90s.
Sometimes walking through the park now, I voice my opinions now. And I think San Diego needs to hear it because I chose Tuesday because it's the day San Diego's in the museums.
So many people come to this place, and yet San Diego does not provide housing. I was with the UN representative this week, and this is what we were talking about. It is a human right to have housing according to the UN. And yet San Diego is number 4 in the nation on homelessness. San Diego, wake up! You're number 4 in the nation on homelessness. Housing is what you should be telling your representatives to fight for. How dare San Diego allow people to continue to live on the streets? And don't tell me there's programs, because those son of a bitches don't come around.
Depression has many faces, and I know that people don't know when they see me outside, when they see me walking around, because I'll talk to them, I won't share my depression on my face or anything. It's sometimes hard to stop not to cry. I had to, but you know, it's a mask I put on for people because out here I can't show weaknesses.
I don't drink like I used to. I still keep my daily diary because I got to take inventory. It's just mainly looking back at, okay, so yesterday, Henry, you were really a little irritable and you took it out on so-and-so. Why don't you go make amends when you get a chance? If you know you've done wrong, at least try to correct it in some sense, no? I think that's real growth. I know it's growth for me, but I don't really need to be that person anymore. I like this person. The left-handed artist. I like him, you know.
Meth, heroin, alcohol, weed, whatever, pills, whatever comes your way. Coping, that's a coping skill out here. I said that to Leilani at our first meeting when she came for the UN thing. I told her that addiction is something out here because you need that to hide, to get away from the reality of what is to be homeless. And hearing all the shit that's going on out here with all the drugs and watching people overdose or get so high that they're dying, it takes me back to watching my own dad go through that. We had talks about being kids of alcoholics. Yeah, I suffered through that. I went through that. Am I suffering now? Yeah, there are issues that still come up. There are times when people make me feel like I'm 5 years old again. And I don't want to feel that way. I don't want to feel vulnerable. I don't want to feel the only time people love me is when they're high or drunk. So I'm an insulin-dependent diabetic. At one point, I was taking insulin 4 times a day. I'm grateful now, with the help of my doctor, that we brought it down to only once a day insulin, and it's long-lasting, Lantus. It was very hard a few years ago because heroin had come into Balboa Park and into Florida Canyon, and so many of the meth people switched over to heroin that everyone was looking for syringes. No one had any clean ones, and a lot of people got infected with AIDS. Do I give them my syringes? Yeah, I do. Why? Because in the 80s and 90s, I saw people getting sick with HIV because of their usage of syringes and the sharing of it. And it's still happening.
If you go hungry in San Diego, it's because you didn't go anywhere to look for it. 211 can provide you with a number of places, although they're never up to date, in all honesty. So it's more of the networking with among ourselves, like where is a good feed that no one knows about. At certain locations throughout the city, there are churches and people that come and they will give people meals on Tuesdays. One in particular is downtown by the Churchill Hotel. It's hot dog night. That's what it's called, hot dog night. Wednesday, for me, is coming here to Ladle for the Bible study. Thursday, there's a church on 33rd and Meade with a clinic as well that has a feed. Vinny's is open all breakfast and lunch and dinner to their guests, as well as lunch to anyone on the streets. Friday is taco for breakfast, 3rd and Edge. And Saturdays, generally it's been Grace Church because there's showers there on Saturdays. And Sundays, Ladle here, 3rd and Date.
The United States has gotten to the point where unless you have the status of things, you are not a part of them. You're on the outskirts of society because you cannot or you do not have the things that show how successful you are. Well, I am very successful because I wake up in the morning, I help who I can, I give an encouraging word when I can, and I listen a lot of the time. And that helps most people when they can vent, when they can share with me whatever it is that they're going through. And maybe I can't give them anything after that, but I gave them the opportunity to unload on me. I'm very grateful that I have a part-time job. There's nothing like that. What hurts is not being able to take that shower. Showers for me personally give me dignity. They give me an awakening that I'm going to start my day just like everyone in San Diego. Just like everyone in San Diego.